Hi YouTube, this is Mike with the Wizard of Odds, and the purpose of this video will be to teach you the basics in craps. This is going to be part one in a series, and in this video I'm going to teach you the most fundamental bets in craps, the pass bet and the odds. And almost every player at the table will be making these bets, and you will be perfectly welcome at the table knowing only these bets. A common misconception in craps is that you need to understand every bet on the table to play. No, if you understand just one bet, then that's all you need. Just make that bet. And the pass and the odds offer great odds, and most players play them, so you will have hopefully a good time just making these bets, and you will blend in just fine. So, and I will teach the other bets in future lessons. So I know I already have other craps videos out there, and those are fine. I'm not trying to replace those videos, but this video is going to endeavor to cover them faster on this demo game, which you can find on my website. And I'm also going to go through the math at the end of the video as well, and I don't do that in my other craps videos. That said, let's jump in and get started. So you see this line here? That's called the pass line. So to make a pass bet, you just put a wager on it. And you must do this on a come out roll. And I will explain what a come out roll is as we go. But you have to understand that many bets in craps, including the pass bet, may take multiple rolls to resolve. And the bet must be made on what's called a come out roll, which it is right now. And this is evidenced by the fact that this lammer in the upper left corner is on off, and it's on the black side. So it is safe to make a pass line bet. So I've made it. Let's roll the dice. Okay. If the first roll after a pass bet is made is a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and you can remember these numbers because they're all up here, then that lammer that used to be in the upper left will get moved to the total you just rolled. Now, at this point, the object is to roll that number again, that total. And if you do, you will win, and your bet will pay even money, 1 to 1. However, if a total of 7 comes first, then you will lose. So let's roll again, and our goal is to roll an 8. So we rolled a 5, nothing happens. If we roll an 8, we win. If we roll a 7, we lose. Anything else, we just roll again. An 8, so we won. Our balance is now at $10,100. We got our $100 original wager back, plus $100 in winnings. So let's make another pass line bet. Here we go. An 8, another 8. So it's exactly the same thing. We want to roll an 8 and not a 7. So here we rolled a 7 on the very next roll, so we lost. It's a new come out roll, so let's make another pass bet. 9, the point is a 9, so let's try to roll a 9 now. 4, nothing happens. 8, nothing happens. 9, we win again. So let's make a new pass bet. Here we go. 6, the point is a 6, so we're trying to roll a 6. And again, you can remember the goal is a 6 because that lammer is placed above the 6 at the top of the table. Whoops. I'm not talking about come bets yet. So let's roll the dice. We want to roll a 6. 10, nothing happens. 12, nothing happens. 9, nothing happens. 8, nothing. 8, nothing. 11, nothing. 6, we win. So let's make a new pass line bet. A 3. Okay. Let me explain what happens if the come out roll is not a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. If the come out roll is a 2, 3, or 12, then you lose. If it's a 7 or 11, then you win. So it's that simple. So let's make another one. 3, we lose. New come out roll. 4. So now our goal is to roll a 4. Let's roll the dice until we either get a 4 or a 7. We just got a 7, so we lost. So I hope that's all there is to say about the pass bet. I hope you understood it. If you didn't, please rewatch the video. For now, if you get the pass bet, let's move on. So we're going to talk about the odds bet. What are the odds of the odds bet, you may be wondering? Well, let me explain the rules first. First, to make an odds bet, you first must make a pass bet and a point must be established. So here's our pass bet. The point is an 8. So at this point, I'm going to win even money if I roll an 8 and lose if I roll a 7. Now what the casino is going to let me do is make an additional wager, or basically up my bet, that I'm going to roll an 8 before a 7. And while the pass bet pays only even money, if I make this supplemental bet, if the point is a 6 or an 8, I'm going to be paid 6 to 5 odds. And that, compared to other casino games, this is a good value. That has exactly 0% house advantage. So I'm sure you've heard the refrain, the odds are always in the casino's favor. Well, that's not the case with the odds bet. It's an exactly fair bet. Now, with my game here follows the usual Las Vegas rules that if the point is a 6 or an 8, then I may bet 5 times my pass line bet on the odds, or should I say up to 5 times. And I'm going to go the full way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where do you make this pass line bet, you may ask? You make it right behind the pass line bet. So here we go. So now I've got $600 on the pass line. You may notice in the lower left my balance is $9,300. So let's see what happens. We're rolling for an 8. 12, nothing happens. 5, nothing happens. And 8, we win. So let me go over what happened. Our $100 pass bet won $100. Our $500 odds bet won $600 because it pays 6 to 5. So 6 divided by 5, or 1.2 times 500 is 600. So we got our $600 in wagers back and $700 in winnings. So we got back a total of $1,300, $1,300 with that 8. Previously, our balance was $9,300. You add $1,300 to that, and you get $10,600. So I hope that was clear, but let's do it again just to make sure. Let's make a new pass line bet. The point is a 5. Now, if the point is a 5 or a 9, then the odds bet will pay 3 to 2. And it pays more because a 5 and 9 are harder to roll than a 6 and an 8, as I will explain in more detail later in this video. And most Vegas casinos and my own demo game allow you to bet up to 4 times your pass line bet on the odds on a point of a 5 or a 9. So here we go. We want to see a 5. $7, we lost. But it's time to make a new come out roll. It is time for a new come out roll. So let's make another pass line bet. Let's make a new pass line bet. It's because it's a new come out roll. The point is a 4. Now, if the point is a 4 or a 10, then you may bet up to 3 times your pass line bet on the odds, and if you win, you will get paid 2 to 1. And it's 2 to 1 because a 4 and a 10 are harder to roll than a 5, 6, 8, or 9. So I'm going to back up that pass bet with 300 on the odds. So I've got 400 on the table in total. So let's roll for a 4. 2, nothing happens. And there's our 4. So what just happened is our $100 pass line bet won 100, and our $300 on the odds won 600. So we got back 400 in original bets and $700 in winnings. So our balance should have just increased by $1,100. So I believe that is all there is to say on the pass bet and the odds. So next, let's go over to Excel and work out what are the odds on these bets? How good of a value are they? So I'll see you in the next part. And if that doesn't interest you at all, then by all means, you can leave now. But I would hope that you have a little bit of interest in math, and if you're not so good at Excel, hopefully this will improve your Excel skills a little bit. 3. To work out the odds of the two bets that I just went over, it's necessary to first find the number of ways you can roll any given total with two dice. So I already started to make a table here. This range here will represent the outcome of one die, and this range here will represent the outcome of the other die. So let me fill in the body of the table with the sum of the two dice. So you can see in the body of the table the sum between the two dice and how often each total occurs. So next let's count up how often we see each total. So we use the COUNTIF function for that. So this is going to find the number of times a particular total is seen in the whole table. For example, this represents that a total of 8 appears 5 times. So let's copy and paste that through the whole range. And here we see that the most frequent total is a 7 with 6 combinations, and then it diminishes in both directions the further away you get from 7. And I already put in this graph here showing the number of combinations for all possible totals from 2 to 12. So with that step out of the way, we can fill in what I call these return tables. So first let's look at the expected return of an odds bet on a 4 or a 10. Let's just talk about a 4, for example. So as I stated before, a winning odds bet on a total of 4 will pay 2 to 1, and of course if you lose, you lose, as represented by a -1, meaning you lost your full bet. So how many ways can you roll a total of 4? Well, this table up here shows that there's 3 ways. And how many ways can you roll a total of 7? There's 6 ways. So there are 9 ways to resolve this bet. So let's divide the number of combinations by the total to get the probability of any given outcome. So this shows that there's a 1 in 3 chance of winning the bet and a 2 in 3 chance of losing the bet. So for the return, I multiply the probability of any given event by what it pays. And so here we see in the lower right corner of this table that the expected return is exactly 0. No house advantage, no player advantage. It's exactly a fair bet, which is why I recommend making it, because the alternative is making bets that have a house advantage. So let's do the same thing on a point of a 5 or 9. As mentioned before, that pays 3 to 2 if it wins, which equates to 1.5. How many ways can you roll a total of 5, for example? Let's go back up to this table, and it says there are 4 ways. How many ways can you roll a total of 7? There are 6 ways. So let's calculate the probability. The probability of winning is 4 divided by 10, or 40%. And let's copy that down to get the probability of losing of 60%. And we can copy and paste this formula here to show the expected return from any given outcome. And again, the lower right corner shows an expected return of exactly 0. It's an exactly fair bet. Okay, let's do the same thing for a point of a 6 or 8. Let's look at a 6, for example. As mentioned before, that pays 6 to 5 if it wins, and you just lose the whole thing. If you roll a 7, how many ways can we roll a total of 6? Well, our table up here says 5 ways. How many ways can we roll a total of 7? Again, there's 6 ways. So let's find the probability of both possible outcomes. So there's a 45.45% chance of winning and a 54.55% chance of losing. And now let's calculate our return. So again, this shows an exactly fair bet with 0% house advantage. So next, let me move on to the expected return of the pass bet. 3. Next, let's work out the probability of the pass bet. So here is that table before that shows the number of ways to throw any given total. So let's find the probability of rolling any given total by dividing the number of combinations by the total combinations. And next, let's go down to this table here. And this shows all the possible outcomes of the pass bet. You can win on the come out roll, you can lose on the come out roll, you can win on any given point, and you can lose on any given point. So I already listed them all there for you. So the trick is to work out the probabilities correctly. So what is the probability of a come out win? As I mentioned earlier in the video, you win on a come out roll on a total of 7 or 11. So the probability of rolling a total of 7 or 11 is 16.67% plus 5.56%. So a 22.22% probability of winning right off the bat on the come out roll. That was pretty easy. Okay, next, what's the probability of winning the pass bet by establishing a point of 4 and then winning it? So that probability, the probability of rolling a 4 on the come out roll, as you can see from this table, is 8.33%. And we already covered in working in the part that I just explained on the odds bet that the probability of winning an odds bet on a point of 4 is 1 in 3. In fact, I'll go back to that page and show you. Just a minute. Okay. So here's that 1 in 3. So I can reference that. So the probability, let's just make these all percentages. So the probability of establishing a point of 4 and then winning on it is 2.78%. So let's do the same thing on a point of a 5. The probability of rolling a 5 on the come out roll is 11.11%. And the probability of winning once you've rolled a point of 5, as we've shown here, is 40%. So therefore, the probability of winning on a 0.5 are those two is the product of those two probabilities, or 4.44%. So let's do the same thing for 6. There's a 13.89% chance of rolling that 6 on the come out roll. And then if you do, there's a 45.45% chance of rolling a 6 again before a 7. So a 6.31% chance of establishing a point of 6 and then winning on it. And as this table shows you here, the probability of rolling a 6 is the same as an 8, the probability of rolling a 5 is the same as a 9, and a 4, and the probability of a 4 is equal to 10. So we can just copy these probabilities for 4, 5, and 6 down to 8, 9, and 10, like this. So that shows you all the probabilities of winning on the pass bet. So let's do the same. Let's keep going down. The probability of losing on the come out roll is the probability of rolling a 2 plus the probability of rolling a 3 plus the probability of rolling a 12, or 11.11%. Now the probability of rolling a 4 on the come out roll and then losing is, well, I showed you earlier, the probability of rolling a 4 on the come out roll is 8.33%. And then let's go back to this, and this shows the probability of losing on a point of 4. On a point of 4 is 2/3. So you take that product and you get a probability of losing on a point of 4 is 5.56%. So let's do the same kind of thing on a point of 5. There's an 11.11% chance of rolling it to begin with, and then a 60% chance of losing if you do. So let's do the same thing with a 6, a 13.89% chance of rolling that 6 on the come out roll, and if you do, the probability of losing is 54.55%. And then because of those symmetric odds, the odds are on the probability of losing on an 8, it equals the probability of losing on a 6, so we can copy and paste that down and do the same thing for the other numbers. So let's take the sum of all these probabilities to make sure that I did it right. Yay, that equals 100%. So now, as before, let's multiply the probability by the return. I mean the probability by the win, and copy and paste that down. And now let's take the sum of that return column. And there we go. The expected return, as shown in cell D39 of the pass bet, is negative 1.41%. So that's the house advantage. For every dollar you bet on the pass line, you can expect to lose 1.41 cents. And in case you're wondering, let's find the probability of winning the bet by summing just the probabilities of a pay of 1, and that is 49.29%. So there you go. That's the analysis of the pass line bet, and that brings us to the end of this video. I plan to make other videos on the other craps bets like this, so please look out for those in the near future. And thank you for watching this video. Thanks for making it to the end. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and I have many other gambling videos out there, and I hope to see you in one of those. And I welcome your comments in the comments section. So thanks again for watching, YouTube. Bye.